Man, I kinda feel bad for all the people that grinded out this event just to get the F4D Skyray, because this thing is not good. I saw a dot. Oh, there he is. Whoa! This year's Operation Summer had a pretty long grind, and frankly, I'm pretty glad I didn't grind it this year. To be honest, I didn't have nearly enough time anyway, and that's kind of a blessing, I think. But I do have a 14-day test drive for this thing. I was wanting to play it a lot more and make, one of my normal plane review videos on it, but I'm not going to do that. In fact, this video is going to be pretty short. Anyway, let's get started. The F4D Skyray is a rank 6, battle rating 9.3 fighter interceptor for the United States. And it was the first ever carrier-based fighter that had the ability to fly at supersonic speeds. Although in-game, I don't find I'm going supersonic very often. This is very much one of those fighters that fits in the transonic category for me. So what kind of armament does this thing carry? The Skyray carries 4 20mm Browning Colt Mark 12 Mod 0 cannons, which is a solid armament for sure. But the way they're mounted in-game kind of hinder their performance a little bit. Or well, not necessarily their performance, but the ability to get your guns on target sometimes. So these guns, you have 2 of them on each wing, and they're pretty far from the center of the fuselage, making them a little difficult to aim every now and then. Personally, I set my conversions at a higher level than normal because I'm usually firing at people from pretty far away. And I find that this helps a little bit, but it's still wing-mounted 20mm, like way in the wings. So you are going to have to deal with that. Moving on from the guns, this thing can carry 4 AIM-9Bs. Now the AIM-9Bs are very early missiles, and they're not that great. In fact, they're pretty bad. You can definitely get kills on people every now and then, on people who aren't paying attention or flying straight. But how often do you actually get in situations in which you're behind somebody and they don't know you're there? Within range of a missile fire, at least. Because I think really the effective range of an AIM-9B in-game directly behind somebody, if you're both moving at a decent speed, is like 1.6 kilometers, 1.7 maybe. But a lot of the time firing an AIM-9B can be an effective tool to get somebody to turn who you weren't already catching, hopefully enabling you to get close enough to get a gunshot in. So that's the armament this thing can carry. What about flight performance? Well, in a nutshell, it's frustrating. This thing does have an afterburner, and it does accelerate and climb pretty well, but in a full up tier that's not going to matter because everything can out-everything you. As you can obviously tell, this thing is a delta wing, or really more of a stingray wing, and honestly it does kind of look cool. But that's going to mean this thing is going to have garbage energy retention. And with a delta wing, you are trading off that energy retention for immediate turn rate. So you're going to have 1 turn of tight turn radius, and then after that you're just going to be sitting still, which sucks. But that's if you're at lower speeds. What if you're above 800, 850 kilometers an hour? Well, actually you have great energy retention there, but the problem is you don't turn at all. You can be pulling full elevator and just barely be pulling at all. So obviously then it doesn't even really matter. Okay, so I guess this is also relative to flight performance, but the sensitivity of this plane when it comes to immediate maneuvers. The sensitivity of this plane when it comes to immediate maneuvers is really, really dumb. And when I say sensitivity of this plane, I mean sensitivity to ripping itself apart. There is a certain speed at which this thing is fairly maneuverable. If I remember right, it's roughly about 700 kilometers an hour. If you pull your mouse wrong at a little too hard, hit that elevator just at the wrong time, you're gonna rip this plane apart, which is extremely annoying. It happened to me probably 5 or 6 times now in the, 30 games I played in it. There is a sort of solution to this, and that is uninstalling the boosters on it. However, if you uninstall the boosters, this thing just turns into a complete brick above a certain speed. And even then, I've been able to rip the wings apart without boosters installed. So you might as well keep them on there. So that's one downside of this plane. What other downsides does this thing have? Well, first off, the matchmaker. This thing, of course, sits at 9.3, and 9.3 kinda sucks, not gonna lie. A very large portion of the games you play in this thing will be full up tiers. And those of you who play that 9.3 to 9.7 era right now, you already know how miserable it can be flying a plane that doesn't have flares. And this thing, of course, does not have flares. Most games you're going to be seeing planes that have Magics, like the A5C. You're going to be seeing MiG-21s with R60s, and good luck dodging any of those if you're going above, like, 700 kilometers an hour. Or really, honestly, no, screw that. That's good luck dodging them at all. Like, really, what are you going to do? Your plane compresses like crazy above, like, 750, 800 kilometers an hour, and below that, you're going to be going too slow to get out of the way of the missile, even if you do have your peak maneuverability. Of course, this is only really an issue if you get up tier to 10.0 or 10.3, which honestly is most games. But how does this thing perform in a down tier? Well, it's actually not that bad. But really the only problem is you can't really get into any sustained dogfights because you're going to lose them because everything has better energy retention than you. So how are you even supposed to play this thing then? Well, you gotta play it as a support aircraft. Which those of you who are experienced in Air RB know that when something gets called a support aircraft, That basically just means it's not good and it can't really win fights on its own, so you kind of have to either pick up the scraps or just try and fight people who are trying to kill other people, which in my opinion really isn't that much fun. So if any of you are sitting here wondering if you should use the coupon to exchange for this plane, I would honestly say don't. Just sell it and buy something else. I have no idea how much this is going to sell for on the Gaijin market. I've never even used the Gaijin market, to be honest. But I do know a lot of people like to just sell what they grind for and then buy some premium time or buy another premium plane or something, so that's probably the best option. Okay, so I think I've said all I need to about this plane. And now that I think about it, I've probably been pretty negative this video, so sorry about that. What do you guys think about the F4D? Do you think this is something that you're going to want to use? Let me know. Alright, that's going to be it from me today. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.